Well, I had a good night out here with my puppy. Yeah. Ruff laid down over here next to the heater. The good thing I was paying attention to him, he laid right up against the heater and caught his hair on fire. Of course, his hair's that thick, so it didn't burn him. But I looked down and he was starting to flame on that side, so I pulled him away and batted it out with my hand. He never even felt it through that thick hair. But I used that partial bottle and one other bottle, but the stove heated for most of the night. I piled it full of wood, and about 11 o'clock, and it burned till 4 o'clock. I guess I had the air and the damper set just right, and the moonlight, I could see the smoke reflecting on the tent, so I could see what was going on. But I had a nice, comfortable night. This bunk, if you go back and look at that video, it is incredible. I'm slightly downhill, but this end of it tilts up slightly, and it's got a little padded pillow in it. But I used my big heavy coat and rolled it up for my pillow, and I was really comfortable. Of course, I had Ridge laying on my legs all night long. She has to share my bunk, and that's great that I've got a dog sharing my bunk with me. Had a dog sharing a bed with me all my life, just about it, since 1972. That's a long time. But I love my dogs. And you hear them barking down there. They're chasing the horses. I got to go out and check the guy wires on this side of the tent. The dogs broke all of them on this side yesterday. Those puppies are rowdy as they can be. They drug my 2 sleeping bags out around in the yard, and I've got a t-shirt I don't know who it belongs to I found in the yard. It's not mine for sure. But I had a nice, comfortable night. Most of the moisture's dried off the inside of the tent. But it's supposed to rain later today. I need to round up some firewood and get it cut to the right size so I can come in here during the rain and build a fire and keep it toasty warm. Well, old and crackadated. If it can, it will. And I'm just lucky the puppies hadn't come in here. Of course, Ridge was sleeping in here when I came back outside. I went in and ate breakfast and had my coffee inside. Oh, I should have made it out here. Oh, excuse me, I am so sleepy. I've been sleepy for a week. I don't sleep very much. But last night I slept good. I slept from about midnight till 4 o'clock. And then I put a new tank of fuel for the buddy heater. And the fire in this, it was still nice and toasty warm. It was putting out heat, but the fire was almost gone. So I'll scrape the ashes out of there and get the thing ready to reload, I'll get my battery operated saw and saw up some more wood for it. I'll cut all these down. What I did, I cut them to fit the cast iron stove. And I'll probably find most of my firewood scattered from here to the barn that I had cut for this. Hello, my little Ridgy baby. How you doing, sweetie? She's become my darling. Of course, Ruff always wants petting, and he's got to rear up on me. Oh, now, don't do that. Yeah, see the brown hair there? I brushed off most of the black hair. Hello, Ben. Come here, buddy. Hello, bear. Oh, this ain't that a beautiful dog? He looks just like he acts. Where'd you go, Ben? And Ben is just sweet as he can be. Ain't you, buddy? You're a sweetheart. Love my puppies. Yes, I love my puppies. The bear is a mess. Him and Ruff pant like that all the time. They're just super excited, hardly ever calm down. You're a little bit hyper, ain't you, buddy? And I ain't figured out who's the one that pulls the covers out there in the yard, and I hadn't found my wool blanket because I had picked it up out of the yard where they'd pulled it out of the other tent and hung it up on the ladder, and I think I took it inside and washed it and dried it and folded it up, and I don't know what cabinet I put it in. I've got 2 cabinets with camping gear in them, and I don't know which one I put it in. I've got containers of camping gear and got a container of clothes. Rather than keep them in the bedroom, I just put them in that container because I just live in the den. I don't sleep in the bedroom anymore. After my wife died, I slept there for a week, and I tossed and turned and couldn't sleep, so I went to the couch, and that's where I've been for the past 12 years, sleeping on the couch. Bought that couch because it was a sleeper couch. It was a nap-taking couch, and so comfortable. When I lay down on that thing at the furniture store, I thought, oh man, we got to have this for the den. But it's old and it's beginning to wear. I'm just gonna maybe use some of that fabric glue and glue some near matching fabric on the arms of it. That's the only places to get worn, because cats and dogs always jumping up on the arm of the couch have got it worn out on the end I sit on. Ridge up there on my bunk. Sweet baby. Hey, puppies. Well, old and crackadated. If it can, it will. And I may do a little more filming. I may have enough for a video already. Here we are in a nice warm tent. It's about 50 degrees outside, and it's been misting rain, pouring rain off and on. But I've got Ruff sitting here, and I've got Ridge there on the bunk taking it easy, and I've got water on for hot chocolate. I guess I better go ahead and get me a spoon. But I'm just enjoying life with all my shortcomings. Can't be unhappy when you got dogs like I've got. And I don't know what's happened to my spoon. Looks like I'm gonna have to go in the house and get a spoon. I think it was sitting in the cup last night. Oh, there it is right there. Yeah, they sort of stirred things around. Whew, I'm gonna have to take this off. It's getting warm and toasty in here. I had that on in order to wear the hood because I took a shower this morning. My hair was wet, but it's almost dry now. And this is just warm as toast, and I'm telling you, you gotta have one of these hot tents. These are the easiest. They're not the easiest to put up, but the easiest to pack away and carry. But a hammock hot tent by One Tigris, you can't beat it for just pure old windproofness, because you get it tied off secure. And of course, if you got puppies running around, they're gonna make a mess out of your guy lines, which is what happened. They broke all three on this side of the tent over here, which allowed it to push that way, and I just about melted my rain cover flap. I really think what they ought to do is make that rain cover flap, which I'm going to do. I've got more of this material for the siliconized fabric, and I'm going to make a rain fly for it. That when you take the stove out, you put the flap down over it. And what I'm going to do is mount it with Velcro, and where I can fold it back over the tent fabric flap, because the hot pipe got against it, and I don't know if it's even going to unroll, because I could smell the stuff heating up, and the little button that was on there to hook in the loop was laying against the stovepipe. But I think that's one improvement I'm going to make, to where there's that fabric between the rain flap, so that I can use it as the rain flap and then throw the other one down over it and be waterproof. But their concept is good, but it should have one of these that's not perforated as a rain flap to fold over that to protect it from the heat. So that's one improvement they could make to the tent from the factory, but it's easy to do yourself, so no big deal. And the tent is crooked as it can be. It's all lopsided there because I got it staked out, and first thing happened, the dogs broke the three guy lines on this side, and I had such a hard time stretching it up because the nylon rope is so stretchy. Even though it's not woven, which woven is a whole lot easier to stretch up and pull tight, and it not sag as much as twisted nylon. But I used 1/4-inch nylon to stretch from the tree to about midway of the rope that's going over to the gazebo. But man, you talk about heavy trying to pull that thing up from that position. I didn't get the rope up high enough to begin with, had the tent already tied to it and it was too low, which I don't have full height on these sides. And I was having to run my guy lines closer to the tent because of the way they tore these loose over here. I decided to put all those closer to the tent, and I took a wheelbarrow and put in between the tent and the peg so I could take it and push it back and it would hold it up and get it on a better angle. That's the reason this is on a better angle. But I'm having a good time with the puppies. Yes, we having a good time with puppies. And the way I've got this stove sitting, I don't have to do the latch on it. To get it to stay closed. It's got just a slight slope backward, and that way when I close the door it stays shut under gravity and hadn't had a problem with it open. If it did, it couldn't go anywhere but on these rocks and sidewalk. I was going to try to get it where the stove sat on the sidewalk, but in my struggle, which having a hard time with my hands gripping things, imagine Tony with a stroke on both sides, because I've got equilateral paralysis and never had that problem except with the left side, but now it's enveloping the whole brain. And of course the muscle damage it did, the nerves and everything, from here down, I mean, I get cramps, and when I go to pick something up, I drop things quite often. And that's been a real problem ever since I got poisoned by that water. Ain't that right, Ruff? Look what a dirty puppy. He goes down there and runs around in that pasture in that black mud, and sometimes comes in just red as he can be. Looks like he's got blood on him, because there's a place they go down there and get in the red clay. But he's a mess. And he laid down against the heater over here when I had the buddy heater on night before last. He came in here and laid right down. His hair was right in the front grate. And he caught on fire, and I beat the fire out. I didn't get my hands burned, but the fire went out, and he never even felt the heat. He's got such a thick coat. Ain't that right, Ruff? You my boy, ain't you? Yes, I love you, buddy. And I had to whop Ridge with a box of crackers the other night when she's trying to get a little rowdy and fight, and was going to take the crackers right out of the box. But she didn't mind me whopping her like that. She behaved herself after that. But it wasn't going to hurt her. It's nothing but cardboard. But she loves this bunk, and I didn't sleep out here last night. I had planned on it, but oh yeah, that broke it up pretty good. I hadn't had so much coffee this morning, I'd put a little coffee in this. I love chocolate and coffee. If you never tried it, try it. It's delicious. Oh, I hear that sizzling now. Hope my camera don't cut off. I'm thinking about getting one of those 360 cameras. They seem to be pretty reliable. One channel I watched, well, there's two different channels I've watched that have had those 360s for a while. One is Kurt and Snow. I like their worldwide adventures because they did the whole Central America thing and then went down to South America and went all the way to the tip of Chile. And it's just a lovely couple. They're so interesting. And I would suggest anybody subscribing to them. They travel to all kinds of different historical, interesting places. And I've just loved watching their channel. I try to give them humorous comments to help encourage them because they are doing a good job. Yeah, I can tell this is going to be good. Oh! I shouldn't have set that on that hot stove. The bottom of that thing gets hot in a hurry. Just right. Not too hot. Yeah. That's back, man. I've got a burn count. Oh yes, my fingers burn. What are you gonna do about it, Ruff? You gonna lick it for me? Well, I think I'll cut the camera off for a little while and think about some things, and there's a lot of things I'd like to talk about. Go girl. The hooligans upset you? Let me get over here and cut the camera off before it automatically cuts off. That's the thing I don't like. I want a camera that's going to run constant. And you can't do it. It just won't work. What is it about a wood stove that's so calming and peaceful? Just the heat from it is so much different. And it's chilly outside and damp. And it sprinkles a little rain off and on. I love this kind of weather. It's the perfect camping weather. Not so cold that you freeze your fins off. And not so hot that you can't have a good toasty stove. It's perfect. 45 to 55 degree temperature is perfect for camping. Anywhere in that area. I was going to be out here that 19-degree night, but things didn't work out that way. But I'm having a grand time with the puppies. They're coming and going, more going than coming. But Ridge wants to stick right with me. She'll run off for a few minutes, but she's a stick-to-it dog, ain't you, baby? Yeah, you're a good darling. I miss my ladybug. I would have loved to have had her in a hot tent camp. But she did a lot of traveling with me. She loved to go to Tractor Supply. If I'd say, come on, let's go to Tractor Supply, right to the door she went. She would sit there so patiently. Not like them two heathens I got running around outside. When they go to the door, it's pant, 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 and bump and bang, and come and get me and jump all over me and say, hey, come on, you said we were going, let's go. Ben is a little more calm, like like his mama. Yeah, ain't that right, baby? You're a sweetie pie. Hello, Ruffy, baby. And them two heathens, they just gonna run around out there all day. They'll get tired and then they'll come in here and crawl on the bed over there and lay down. And this one loves to sleep in the tent. The bunk was wet this morning on the sleeping bag I keep folded out as a blanket. I like that more as a blanket than I do as a sleeping bag. Of course, it came with a backward zipper in it. It never was right because the zipper was turned around backward. Instead of zipping up, it zipped down to zip up. And then it finally came out the end when I zipped it up that last time when I was taking down the 8-person tent, which I'm telling you what, I'm in love with that Amazon Basic 8-person tent. I ordered another brand new one and got it. Oh, it's pretty easy to put up. Takes me a long time to take it down just because I'm old and slow. But I'm thinking about ordering the 4-man tent. It'd be perfect for going to other places and setting up. But that other one, I had it set up for 2-3 months, and it held up well. May have been more than 3 months. I got a big log in the stove and got the vent opened up and it's putting out good heat. It's comfortable in here. I'm enjoying my day. Which proves that you don't have to go out in the wild to camp. If you got a decent backyard that's private, perfect place. Just set up a tent. If you got a family, bring the family out and y'all just pretend you're 20 miles away in the middle of the woods or a field. I camped that way a lot of times when I was a young kid. Wasn't old enough to go out and camp on my own. We sewed cloth flour sacks together to make tents. And take a bar of paraffin and lay the thing out and just scrub it with that paraffin till it coated the cloth, and it would be waterproof. If the sun shined on it, it would make that stuff melt a little bit into the fabric, and it became waterproof. But it made a good little backyard camping tent. We had a pretty private backyard a lot of times. A lot of times had hedges growing around most every places we lived. And one place we lived in had a garage. It had a dirt floor, but it had a wooden platform over on one side of it. And we used to hold neighborhood meetings there for all the kids. Pretend we were an organization of some kind. But it was a great meeting place. Pretend to be grown-ups. Then when you got to be grown-up, you want to be a kid again. But that one place where that garage was at, it had hedges down one side of the yard, and the people who lived on the other side, they wouldn't be out there unless the weather was real good. Of course, they were nice, easy-going older couple. They weren't old, but they were older than my mother and father. And they were nice people. Had nice people on the other side. And on the back was a drainage ditch, which Birmingham had a lot of drainage ditches that ran back where an alley would be, but it was drainage ditches. And kept it pretty private that way. Well, we camped out as kids, and of course we set up beds out of boards and chairs to hold them. It didn't take much room for my brother and I to sleep, so we did things like that. It was really interesting. But I had a pretty good childhood growing up. I remember one time that I think about 6 years old. I think I was in the first grade. But anyway, that summer, this rumored that if you poured salt on, close enough to pour salt on a bird's tail, that it wouldn't fly away. I remember getting up in a mimosa tree and putting cornbread crumbs on the ground and sitting there with a handful of salt. Birds would come and start eating it, pour salt on them. It never slowed them down. They flew off just as fast as they could go. I guarantee you a lot of kids did that. Just to find out if it was true. Well, there's enough for this segment. I just like to chit-chat, and with the camera it's like talking to people. It's like having people here, because you're going to put it online and let people see it on YouTube. And since I never have any company here at the house, I'm not able to go very many places for very long at a time, it's real comforting to know that I can have a couple of dozen people watching my videos. It can block out some of the loneliness. Of course, I've got my animals that occupy my mind and my time. Little Ruthie, the little miniature Jack Russell, and Chihuahua mix, Applehead Chihuahua and Jack Russell. Call her my Applejack. And then the cats. That Goldie's been paying a lot of attention to me lately. He's been off in the rest of the house, hadn't been around, but he's been sleeping on the couch with me over the past week. And of course, Weiss is always up there on the top of the couch, right above me. And Gizmo, he just runs back and forth. He makes a track across me. He'll come and jump in the chair at the end of the couch and jump on the arm of the couch and then run right down my chest and jump off the couch and go, and then come back the other way and run right across my chest. He's done that ever since he was big enough to jump up on the couch. Notice when he was a little baby, I was bottle feeding him, and he would sleep on my chest. He's got a warped brain. And if he wasn't so comical and lovable, I would have thrown him out long ago. Well, that'd be enough chit-chatting for now. Well, I'm out here making hot chocolate tonight. I don't even know if I'm in the picture. I wasn't in the picture very good the other night. And I can't see where I've got the camera. It's hard for me to get around behind it to see. Such a shadow over there. Okay, that ought to be good. Barely get around for the dogs tonight. Oh, I need to lift that thing up higher so I can get to it. Now, Ruff, let me get my chocolate made, please. Oh. I'm so tired by the time I get out here and get anything done. I hadn't felt good lately. Oh. Lay down, Ruff. I hope I'm in the camera. You couldn't even see my head in the first part of that the other night. But I'm going to run it anyway. I just sort of lost my get up and go. I may find out Thursday when I go to the doctor how bad my blood sugar's gotten and any other things wrong with me. Well, boy, y'all missed me, didn't you? After being out here in the tent with me, they just can't get enough of me now. I come outside and they're just all over me. Ridge won't even lay up there on the bed because that's where she spends the night. This afternoon when I went to feed the horses, I called them and they were both in here in the tent. She was on the bunk. I'm gonna have to wash that sleeping bag. But I'll have to find something to cover the other sleeping bag with while I wash that one. I've got that numbness in my top lip. I can't talk real good. Tongue's a little bit tongue-tied. Should have come out here when I felt pretty good this afternoon. Whew. But then I got real sleepy and I took me a nap. And I didn't do good with my nap. Had to get out and call the dogs. They were off. They come back sopping wet, so they were off in the water. It's warmed up into the lower 50s to mid 50s in the daytime, so they want to go in the water. Old Ruff's looking pretty good tonight. He was dirty as a pig all over his face and the top of his head today. He's still pretty ragged looking. Yes, my boy. Oh no, now, let's not catch you on fire again. Hey, that stove over there, you can't lay against it. Done had you on fire one time. He just don't understand the concept because he can't feel the heat that much. He lays down against it. He's got wool that thick. He can't tell the difference. Well, what I built the fire in the stove with tonight I bought this at Harbor Freight. It's a good little old saw. Got a locking blade. And what I did, I sawed one of those deer flame logs in half. And just using half of it so it won't get so doggone hot. Because it's probably dropped down to low 50s again tonight. The tent's still not dry. Had a lot of condensation on it from all the rain. It's been real foggy today. Yeah, when I go in the house, I'll probably watch Tony's last video. I missed the live thing tonight, so I'll probably watch his video when I go in. I was asleep when it was on.